happy to have you join me. And thank you so much for being here. I'm really excited to get to share this information with you. This is some of my best content that I share with my clients when they come to me with different issues in their relationships. The biggest thing that I've found for female entrepreneurs is that we have different reasons why we come to share our gifts, and we are motivated differently. And one of the things that's huge for us is we need to feel supported in sharing our gifts with the world. It's already hard being a female entrepreneur, especially if you have particular, if your personality type, like mine, is that you're very sensitive emotionally to things that are going on with people, and you have different spiritual gifts that you're sharing. So if that's something that is your situation, then you know what it's like to feel unsupported in your business. It's very difficult. And if the person who's your number one person is not really supporting you in your business, then that can really deflate you. It can really take the wind out of your sails. And so I want to share this with you to help you in those situations. And I think the first thing I should say, because so often clients, I'll be talking to clients, or I'll be talking to ladies who are potentially clients, and they will always want to assure me that even though they're asking me about how to get more support in their relationship, it doesn't mean that their partner is not supportive. So, like, that he's a bad guy. He's not a bad guy. I don't think your partner is a bad guy. So let's start with that. I'm sure your partner is a lovely person because your partner loves you. So really what we're talking about is just how do you communicate differently to your partner so that you can get the support that you need. And at this point, I'm going to flip over to my little presentation here so we can get started with that. And so let's do that. Oh, it's going to make me click every time I want to say next. Okay, so you're here because you're a female entrepreneur, you're starting to build your dream business, and it might be creating some tension in your relationship because it's something new, something you haven't done before, and you don't have a language for how to talk with your partner about that yet. And we'll get to that in just a little bit. But you're probably feeling really frustrated, you're probably feeling stressed out, and you're just looking for a way to make it all easier, to just make it much easier and simpler a process for you. And to just break down that wall between the two of you that's causing the tension. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. And the thing that leads you to seek this out is that, when you're not being supported, it feels awful. It feels like your goals aren't as important as someone else's goals, which makes you feel very second class in your relationship. And it makes you feel like the other person doesn't have confidence in your abilities to achieve your goal. And, that can be really deflating for you because we believe what people do more than what they say. So if your partner is saying, I support you, I support you, I support you, but then never gives you time to work on things, or says, yeah, let's not spend money on your thing because, let's put it on this other thing because it's more important, then the real message you're getting is that they don't have confidence in your abilities. And that feeling really sucks. And the biggest heartache of it is that you feel like your dreams don't matter. Like, in the grand scheme of everything, your dreams don't matter, only what you can contribute to helping other people with their dreams. And even when these are people that you love and that you care about so much, when you feel like you have to put your dreams aside for them, it doesn't feel right. It feels like you're letting a part of you die. So this is the truth. The truth about you is that your dreams do matter. And your goals do matter, and that you are worthy of achieving them. And it really comes down to that, to worthiness. And you are worthy of love. You are so worthy of love. You are worthy of love by the fact that you exist. And really, what we're talking about in a lot of these different situations is that your worthiness, let me switch back to this camera for just a sec, if I can. Your worthiness is really a central issue in all of this, because really what we're talking about is a combination of your beliefs and your behaviors. So the belief at the bottom of all this, we're going to talk about how to change specific behaviors in just a sec. We'll get to that, I promise. But your beliefs are foundational. They are so important to all of this, because if you believe that, if you've bought into this thing and you're telling yourself this story of like, my dreams don't matter, other people's dreams are more important than mine, and all of these things, it doesn't really matter what your actions are, because you don't believe them. You're kind of going through the motions. So really, that's the most important thing I want you to get out of this entire webinar, is that your beliefs matter. And the most important thing is your feelings of worthiness. So that's the foundation. And there are a lot of different ways that you can increase that. There are a lot of different ways that you can heal those feelings and shift so that you are feeling worthy. And if you haven't looked into it yet, then the first thing I'd tell you to do is, there's this fantastic book by Louise Hay that's called You Can Heal Your Life. And she's got really specific things in there that will help you to actually heal your beliefs. So that's a great place for you to start. And I really urge you to check out that book if you haven't yet. It's one of the most important, most powerful books out there that is about healing yourself and your beliefs. So that's the place to start. And then we'll talk about beliefs today. You can do both of those things together. You don't have to wait until you feel like you're completely whole and completely healed before you start making the changes that you need to make in your life and your relationships that will bring in that support. Nobody is completely healed. Nobody is completely whole. There's never going to be a point where somebody gives you a certificate or something that says, okay, now you're qualified to move forward in your life. It just doesn't happen. So you have permission to move forward in multiple areas at the same time and take little baby steps in a lot of different directions. So let's come back to the presentation for a little bit here. So hopefully you guys can see this. If not, I'll have to edit this later so that everybody can see it the right way. Uh-oh, now it's making us go all the way back. Okay, so here's my promise to you for today. When we're done with this webinar, and it's not going to be very long, I imagine we won't go longer than an hour, you're going to have really specific tools to make your relationship better, to feel more comfortable in it, to feel like you're really being truthful about what you need, and to really behave in ways that feel respectful for you, that you're respecting yourself in your relationship. And that's what I want to give you today. And the things that you need so that you can ask for the support that you deserve and bring your dreams into being. Because your dreams are important. We need your dreams. We need you to create the things in the world that you're inspired to create, because it enriches our lives. It enriches all of our lives. So you, specifically you out there listening right now, you need to create your dreams. If you have anything in you that you feel inspired to create, that is a divine inclination. That's a divine message that's saying, hey, I've got this thing I want to express in the world through you. You know, that's love, that's source, that's spirit saying to you, I have something special that I want to create in the world, and it can only come through you. So when you're hearing that, it's important for you to recognize that as a divine calling and create that thing. And this this webinar, the intention of this is to help you get the support that you need from the people in your life so that you can make that happen. So my promise to you is that when you're done with this webinar, you're going to have specific tools to make your relationship better. And you're also going to have an opportunity to get some answers and advice that are specific to your situation. Because I know sometimes people are thinking, but how does this apply to me, right? And if you're in that situation, as we're going through, then definitely know that you can reach out to me, and there'll be information here about how you can do that. But also stay tuned for the end, because I have a special thank you gift for you, and that will also help you get some more insight into your relationship specifically. So let's go back over here. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. I hope you don't get seasick. All right, so here's the next. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about what's causing the problems in your relationship that you're seeing, what is actually causing them, and then how they're manifesting. And we're going to talk about the things that you can do. And then we might have a Q&A at the end. It kind of depends. And then we'll also get into that thank you gift that I mentioned before. So who am I? Why am I sharing this information with you? My name is Carisa Montooth, and I'm a love coach. And what I do is I help entrepreneurs, especially, I help women entrepreneurs to create the love that they want in their life, especially while they're launching and building new businesses, because that's a really stressful, frustrating time. But what I do is I help you bring in love into your life. And I do that by using counseling. I have a master's degree in counseling, and I have a degree in psychology. But I also combine that with very, very specific, universal spiritual principles, so that I can help you get the results that you need in your life quickly, and in a way that's lasting. You know, you can always go through the motions of different things, but if you don't understand the foundations underneath of what's happening in your life, then you can't create real change, and it's not change that will last. So that's what I want to help you have in your life. I want to help you have the richest, most beautiful, joyful love that you could ever have. And if that means bringing a soulmate into your life, then that's what I want to help you do. If that means enriching your current relationship, then that's what I want to help you do. So that is what I do. And that's why I'm sharing this information with you. I feel really called to help other women entrepreneurs, especially women who are having these kinds of struggles, because they really stem from some kind of basic feelings of unworthiness. And those feelings don't mean that you are unworthy. They're just the kind of leftover thoughts from different things we've experienced in our lives, but they're also from messages that we get from trying to use our gifts in a world where it's mostly a male-dominated kind of business culture. So, you know, for me to come into a room of, say, like financial planners, and they say, what do you do? And I say, I'm a love coach. You know, there's always going to be this little reaction from them. And then I have to remember what's true about me and my gifts, and remember that I have things that I do that help people. So that's what I do. That's why I do my work with women entrepreneurs, is because I believe that our gifts are different, and I believe that the way that we need to express them is different. So that is who I'm called to help, and that's what I do. So let's see here. Oops, that's not a screen you need. Oh, you guys are just going to be flying through this like crazy with me here. So who am I? So everything comes back to how you feel about yourself and what you believe about yourself. So that's a really important foundation, and that's the thing that I want you to remember the most. It's about your thoughts, and it's about your behaviors, and those two things, how they interact. So what you believe about yourself is your thoughts, and the behaviors are what we're going to talk about today. And the behaviors we're going to talk about involve teaching other people how to treat you right? Because you're doing that all the time. Whether you're doing it consciously, whether you're doing it with a deep intention, or whether you're just doing it without really thinking about it, you're always teaching other people how to treat you. So I want to really talk to you about that today so that you can do that in a way that's intentional, and you can teach people how to treat you the way you really want to be treated, instead of just reinforcing them to treat you in ways that don't feel good to you because you're not responding in a way that's thought out. So let's start with talking about behaviors in relationships, different behaviors in relationships. There is a foundation for a relationship that's an energetic foundation. And that foundation has to do with masculine energy and feminine energy. And I'm not talking specifically about a relationship between a male and a female. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about one partner being masculine and one partner being feminine in their energy. And that one partner is mostly comfortable in their masculine energy and the other partner is mostly comfortable in their feminine energy. And the partners, each of these people will still be, you can be masculine and then use some of your feminine for other things. And the same thing, you can be masculine and use some of your feminine in your other roles. But each partner is going to be predominantly one of those kinds of energies. And the thing that happens when you're a woman entrepreneur is that we pull really strongly from our masculine energy to do all of the things that we think need to be done in our business. And whether that's because we're following kind of a masculine business model and we learn later that it doesn't work for us, or whether it's just how we get things done when we're working in our business and it does work for us, it pulls us out of what our normal energy is, what our natural energy is that feels the best and most comfortable to us. And it becomes really hard to switch back into that feminine energy of receiving, because the masculine energy is all about like, go, 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 get this thing done, make the connection, facts and figures, that kind of a thing. And so we need that in our business. It's necessary in our business, just like it's necessary in life. It's necessary in a relationship for balance. It's necessary. But when you are stretched too far out of your feminine, away or into this masculine energy, then it's really hard to come back into your relationship and be present as your feminine self and relate to your masculine partner that way. So, because the feminine energy, like I said, it's all about receiving. It's all about nurturing. And when we're used to go, 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 it's very hard to sit back and take a deep breath and think of it in terms of what we're receiving, what we can accept and receive into our lives, receiving love, listening and hearing the other person, and connecting to them in more of a nurturing kind of a way. So that's one thing that makes it really difficult for female entrepreneurs, is we get like whiplash going between feminine, masculine to do all these different things. And one thing that really helps that is if you are finding yourself having a really difficult time in your relationships because of what I'm describing, look for a business coach that operates really well in her feminine, whose energy you're super attracted to, and learn from her how to balance that. A couple of coaches out there that I know are like that. One is Kiva Leatherman, who I believe she does Kaleidoscope Publishing. She's wonderful at being able to help you understand from a business perspective what you need, and to create that in a way that feels authentic with your feminine energy. So she's somebody that I would recommend that you look at for sure. And then another thing that I wanted to talk to you about in terms of this is that when you're launching your business, we get so focused And even if it's like you're not launching your business, but you're launching a product, you get so focused into what you're doing that your relationship suffers because you're not having sex. Like, you're just not having sex. And you need to have sex. I have a program that you can find on my website. That's it's a free program right now. There might be a charge for it later, but it's about manifesting love in your life in 7 days. And one of the modules is all about sex. It's all about how we want to have more sex, but we're not, because we're not having any sex. And so what do you do about it? And one of the big things that causes tension in relationships and pulls you and your spouse or your partner apart and it keeps you from getting the support that you need is that you're not feeling intimately connected. And that happens when you become too tired or too distracted or too stressed out to have sex with your partner and reconnect that way. You know, a lot of times women feel closer by talking and sharing their feelings, and then they feel like they're ready for sex. And men are the opposite. They feel closer by sex, especially men that are very rooted in their masculine. And then they want to talk and share and all of that after. So sometimes we're kind of in this habit of not having sex, and we just need to break that cycle. And so for you, it could be you need to take a nap, you know, like you're doing all this stuff for your business. And I know how hard it is to build all these things. I absolutely understand. But your relationship has got to have some attention, and your physical relationship has to have some attention. So if you need to take a nap, if you need to take a hot bubble bath, if you need to take care of yourself so that you can show up and be present in the physical part of your relationship, then that's something that you need to think about. Another big thing that I see is that a lot of times women are not taking care of ourselves. We're just not taking care of ourselves. And sometimes it's because we think that that has to be a really big deal. And it really doesn't have to be a big deal. You can do little things during the day that are, I call them daily lux, because what it is you're just making your daily activities a little bit more luxurious. And the reason that you need to think about doing that is that making another person entirely responsible for your happiness is not sexy at all. It's just not sexy. It's not sexy. It's not powerful. It doesn't respect you. It doesn't respect your power. So practicing self-care is saying to other people, I am worthy of being cared for. I am worthy of special attention and love and care. So when you do that, you show that to other people. And who knows who's watching you? You know, when my daughter is almost 4, and so often she will do something just because I just did it. So if you have other women in your life, whether they're younger women like your daughters, or whether they're just other women who are in your life, and they see you take time to take care of yourself, it gives them permission to take care of themselves too. And it gives them an example of how to do that. And little things I'm talking about are just things you can incorporate into your regular daily life. Like, you've got to drink your water anyway, right? Why not drink it out of a wine glass? It feels special. It feels fancy. It just puts your mind, it kind of elevates your mind to a little bit of a higher energy. It elevates your vibration to a little bit of a higher energy. Instead of taking just like a quick shower, you know, if you have 10 minutes, take a bubble bath. Do other things while it's filling up, and then take your 10-minute bubble bath and just relax and luxuriate in that. Listen to positive things while you're in your car, or while you're getting ready in the morning. Feed and nourish your mind. Positive things, positive affirmations, beautiful music, all of those kinds of things. And really to feed your soul, you know. And don't ignore it, because it doesn't take that much time. It doesn't have to take that much time. And it doesn't have to be expensive, and it doesn't have to be complicated. You can be just looking at something and going, well, I've got to do this anyway. I've got to drink water anyway. Why not drink it out of one of my fancy wine glasses that I barely ever use? Those kinds of things. And then another thing that I see in relationships that is really common are communication problems. One of the big mistakes, and if you think of the biggest relationship mistake that not only entrepreneurs, not only really smart women, but practically everyone in relationships makes, the biggest mistake they make is that they treat other people the way that they want to be treated. And we're used to thinking of that as the golden rule, right? And what I want you to consider is, like, I call it upgrading to the platinum rule. Because when we do that, we're ignoring that that person is not us. They don't want to be treated the same way that we want to be treated. And there are 4 distinct personality styles. They all want to be treated in different ways. They don't all want to be treated in the same way. So that's something I'm going to get into with you now. Is I'm going to help you understand those 4 different personality styles and how you treat them. So these 4 different personality styles, I want you to understand them. This is a personality system that I have created called the Strongest Element Personality System. And it's based on Myers-Briggs and the 16 personality types and personality theory and psychology. And it's really just broken down into 4 personality types to make it super simple and easy to remember, to understand it and to remember. Because, when you're sitting, when you're in a situation, you're not going to be mentally going through the 16 different personality types of Myers-Briggs or anything like that. If you're familiar with Myers-Briggs, you want something that's really simple and easy for you to remember. So that's what we're going to get into with this. So the first personality type, and you'll probably see yourself in one of these personality types. And also, I'll tell you a little bit about the love styles for these, but we won't get too much into that. But the first personality type is the earth element. Earth elements are very structured. They're task-oriented people. They care about to-do lists and deadlines and calendars and structure. They're very traditional. They like traditional jobs. For an earth element, to see somebody be an entrepreneur is one of the scariest things for them, because earth elements are not comfortable with a lot of risk. So if your partner is an earth element and they're very stable, very traditional, very their history of their family matters to them, the traditions in their family matters to them, the traditions and institutions in society are very important to them. They respect authority. You're going to hear them say things like, well, you want to change something, and they'll say, but we've always done it this way. That's a big earth element thing. So when you have an earth element, when you're in a relationship with an earth element and you're an entrepreneur, they're going to be freaked out by the fact that you are going into business for yourself. If you have a side job, they will be more, a little bit more reassured by that. But if you're like, I'm going to quit my job and I'm going to go be an entrepreneur, I'm going to share my gifts with the world, they're going to freak out. So the way that you need to talk to them is that you need to show them your goals. Your credentials will matter to them. So whatever credentials you have, you need to share with them. You need to have a plan and a business strategy that you can share with them. That's very important to them. And that will help ease a lot of the tension in your relationship. You really have to invest in doing things in your business that are clear, that you can show them. That's the thing that's going to make the most of a difference to them. You also want to show them when you're actually making progress. You want to share those things with them in terms of the numbers, like specifically, I made this much this month. I have a goal of making this much. I'm 60% there, whatever it is. Share with them the facts and figures, because that's very important to them. They are about stability and security. The next personality type is the air element. And air elements are very analytical. Where the earth elements were about the details and the tasks, excuse me. The earth elements were about details and tasks, facts and figures. Air elements are about the big picture. They're very into big ideas, new ideas. They will be very excited about something that you want to do if it solves a problem in a brand new way. They're very excited about seeing you create something that's brand new. They like to be the masters of a specific area of knowledge, and they respect that in other people. So the more you know about your area of expertise, the more they'll respect you, even if it's not theirs. The problems that you might have with them when you're getting into, when you're launching a business and this is your partner's personality type, you know, they might feel like you need to be more of an expert in your area. And what I want you to do is, I really want you to check in with yourself, because a lot of times we feel like we need to jump through all these hoops, that there are all these different qualifications and credentials we need between us and what we're doing. And if you're helping people right now with what you know, then you're qualified to do what you do. You know, just because I have a master's degree in counseling and a bachelor's degree in psychology, that doesn't mean that it makes me especially qualified to do what I'm doing. It gives me a different perspective than somebody who might not have that, but we're both helping people. So I don't want you to get really hung up in like, well, I need to get this credential and I need to get this credential and I need to get this credential or else I can't do what I'm doing. That's another, it's like one of the heads of the Hydra. It's another way that your unworthiness beliefs are showing up, because you're saying, I won't be qualified to share my gifts until I have this thing. You know, now obviously if you're a doctor or something, you've got to get a medical degree, right? You can't just go out and share your gifts. But for a lot of us, our gifts are working one-on-one with people to shift their beliefs or create healing or bring something new into their life. And that's not something you have to, there isn't really a certificate in that. So your gifts, you may have a partner who's very, very into credentials. That doesn't mean that you have to be, okay? What's important is, have you helped people with your gifts? And you need to learn how to help people with your gifts as much as you possibly can. So that's where people get hung up, is that they go, oh, but I need this credential, I need this credential, I need this credential. If you're not making money, what you need to do is you share your gifts with people. You know that your gifts are valuable, so now you're receiving money for those gifts. As you're doing that, you keep up-leveling your skills. You keep investing in more knowledge or more training as you're doing that. But you don't let that stop you from that initial going out and helping people. So that's where people get hung up sometimes in their business and in their relationships. They have a partner who says, you should go get a life coaching certificate. You know, for me, I even thought I needed to get a life coaching certificate. How much sense does that make? I already have a degree in counseling. It didn't make any sense, right? But I got hung up in that same mindset of thinking, well, I've got to have this before I can do this and all of these other things. Don't do that. So if your partner's hung up on credentials, that doesn't mean that you have to be. Okay. The next personality type is called the water element. Water elements are about rapport and connection and understanding, and they're about the love. They're about the relationships. They are people oriented. They want to nurture potential. They are all about growth and evolution. They believe that there is a purpose why they are here. They believe that If someone else needs something, they want to give that. They want to give the person what they need. If you're listening to this, you're most likely this personality type. And so your biggest challenge is going to be boundaries, because you're going to be very likely to want to just give in your business. And then it becomes a hobby and not a business, right? Because you're not making money from it. So that's a conversation for another time. But if your partner is a water element, you're not really going to have problems with them supporting you. They're going to be behind you 100%. They're going to laugh when you laugh. They're going to cry when you cry. They're going to be right there for you. If your partner is a fire element, fire elements are dynamic. They are risk takers. They are very comfortable with change. They're the kind of people who, if you want to do something, if you want to talk to them, you got to walk and talk with them, because they're always on the move. And if your partner is like this, then they will probably support you in what you're doing. And if they're not, it's because they're not seeing it as fun. They don't think what you're doing sounds very fun, so they're just not interested. The other thing is that maybe what you're doing they have a thing about competition, and maybe what you're doing has pushed a competitive button in them. So if they're not being supportive, it might be because they're unconsciously or consciously competing with you, which I have seen sometimes. So it just kind of depends on what that person's personality type is like and how you need to communicate with them. Okay, so one big thing is how you communicate with your partner based on what based on their personality, right? That's just like a communication issue that happens in any relationship. But you're an entrepreneur. So you have this whole other level, I like to say a whole nother level of complexity on top of the communication in your relationship. And if your partner is not an entrepreneur, it's going to be a little bit rocky. So here are some things that will help that be a little bit smoother and work better. One of those things is showing your partner the vision instead of telling your partner the vision. So a lot of times we think that they see all the things that we're doing and that they know what that means, and they don't. If they're not an entrepreneur, they don't know what you're doing. They don't get how amazing it is that you grew your mail list from like 10 people to 15 people. They don't get that you sent your first, newsletter out, and that you're totally excited because you learned how to, use MailChimp to do that. They don't get that, you went to your first networking event, and even though you were super nervous, you went anyway and you talked to people. Like, they don't usually get that that's a big deal. And those are things that entrepreneurs have to get comfortable with and to do all the time. You're getting comfortable just having sales conversations, and it might be hard for you to even say how much your services cost to people out loud for the first time, because no matter how much you say your fee is or how little you say your fee is, it sounds like too much to you, because we just aren't used to having those kinds of conversations. And when you're just getting started as an entrepreneur, you're taking your gifts out into the world and you're saying, value these gifts because they're for you and I want to help you. And so you're really putting yourself out there. It's like the most powerful kind of personal development that you can possibly do outside of like becoming a parent or overcoming some kind of a major illness or something like that. So it's huge, right? But your partner is not in your mind with you. They don't know what that's like. And if they're not an entrepreneur, then those challenges don't mean the same thing to them. And a lot of times what they do is, you're a competent person, you're good at handling a lot of things. And so they just go, well, of course you would do well at that. And they're not really like celebrating with you, because they're going, of course you would have got that done, or of course you'd get that thing right, or of course you got that client, of course you finished your website, of course, because they believe in you already. but then that doesn't feel supportive to you because nobody is acknowledging how extraordinary it was that you did get that thing done. So showing your partner the vision instead of telling them. Showing them the vision is about you um, actually helping them envision what it's going to be like when your business reaches the success that you want it to reach. So you can go places like you can go to places where there's a home that you would want to have. You can go look at homes, beautiful new homes, and you can walk through them with your partner and you can say, look, see, this is the kind of place that we would be able to afford when my business takes off. When my business is a success, we can live somewhere like this. You know, you can help them understand that when your business takes off, you'll be able to afford to do things they'll be able to do, they'll be able to do good things. Like you might be able to send them on a vacation with their friends or something like that. You might be able to buy something in your home that makes your lives easier or more beautiful that your partner can also appreciate. So those kinds of things help them see what it will mean to your life and your family if they are supportive, and so that they can know what it's going to be like when your business gets to that level. Another thing about communicating with your partner when they are not an entrepreneur is you have to communicate your work boundaries. Excuse me one second. So one thing we do is, as entrepreneurs, like we're sitting here and we're working, and maybe what we'll say to our partner is, I'm going to work for 4 hours on Saturday. And they say, okay, that's fine. I'll take care of the kids. Or, okay, I won't bother you, for those 4 hours. And then you sit down to work and maybe you get distracted or maybe something else, whatever. Maybe your partner comes back in and does bother you because we test each other unconsciously and consciously. If you stop working, if you give away the time that you've set aside, then you are teaching them. Like I said, you teach other people how to treat you. If you give that time away, you're teaching them that when I say I need that time, I don't mean it. Don't do that. Save that space in your day and honor your work with it. So even if you're not feeling like you could really do everything that you had set up to do some brainstorming, do something. Do one thing, get one thing done, and then make a list for the other things. But save that time and communicate to your partner that that time is important. And you communicate that through what you do, not through what you say. If you say it's important, but then your actions don't match it because you give the time away, they don't believe you. So definitely do it. If you're a part of a training program, like a business training program, that's the best time to start setting the foundation for this, because let's say you're doing this online business training and you set aside 4 hours a week to do that. And then your business training is done. Keep those 4 hours a week to now work on your actual business. Now that you're done with that training, keep those 4 hours for your business. Your partner's already used to you having that time by now. And you're used to having that time by now. And now you can use it to create, not just to learn about creating. Another thing that happens in communicating with your partner when they're not an entrepreneur is that they ask this question, which is the most annoying, infuriating question to hear when you're an entrepreneur. And that is, are you done yet? And the reason that is so infuriating is that we are never done. And we know we're never going to be done. So encourage your partner instead to ask you, are you at a point where you can take a break? And that will be so much easier for both of you because you won't snap at them. They won't feel like they're getting attacked for asking a simple question. And then when you hear that question, it feels much less stressful, because as soon as they say, are you done yet? You start to feel like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to be done. And you just start freaking out. So help them to communicate with you in a way that feels more, that feels better, that just feels calmer and more peaceful. So instead of, are you done yet? Ask them, to say, are you at a point where you can take a break? The other thing is that when something is super important for you, let them know. This is really, really important. And then give them an example in their lives. Like, this would be important. This is as important to me as it is to you when this thing happens. Help them see that so that they know how to celebrate with you. They know how great it is. They know, like, hey, take me out to dinner. This is super important. Or, you know, high five with me. Just be in this moment and celebrate with me, whatever it is. But you have to tell them when something is a big deal, because if they're not an entrepreneur, they don't know. They can't be expected to know. And a business owner is different than an entrepreneur. A business owner can own a gas station. That doesn't necessarily make you an entrepreneur, right? Entrepreneurs are trying to evolve their skills. They're wanting to reach a bigger market. They're wanting to use their gifts in an authentic and unique way to serve the world and help people that need to be helped. That's what a heart-centered entrepreneur is. And that's what you are if you're listening to this. So that's different than being a business owner. So you might be thinking, well, but my husband does own a business, so why can't he understand this? If they're not a heart-centered entrepreneur doing all of those things I was just describing, then they don't understand what it is. So it's your responsibility, right? Because you do understand what it is. So you're on the path. So it's your job to communicate it. So now I want to talk to you just really briefly about my thank you gift for listening. So what I want to do is I really want to hear from you. I really want to help you get the answers that you need in your relationship, get the love that you need, and the support that you need. And I'd like to do that by just offering you a free call with me. And it's an hour-long call. You'll see the button pop up, and it'll show you that you can schedule a call with me. It'll take you over to my website, and you'll fill out a little form so that I can understand more about your relationship, and then I'll best know how to help you. And then you'll schedule your call with me from there. So it'll be totally free, and it's just my thank you gift for you for staying for the entire webinar. So I'm really looking forward to speaking with you and listening to you and hearing about your dreams for your relationship and your dreams for your business and how I can help you. So that is the thank you gift that I wanted to tell you about. Let me just let you know that you can click on that button if you're listening to the replay. You know, that's still available to you. And it's still something that I'm going to offer and honor for you. Okay. And I said something before about the secret weapon, right, that you can use in your relationship. And the secret weapon is masterminds. Masterminds are so awesome. And the reason why is masterminds help you with your business, obviously, but they also help you with your relationship. And I'll explain to you why in just one sec. So first, you know, masterminds help you with your business, obviously. When you join a mastermind, or if you create a mastermind, and if you need help creating a mastermind, let me know. Or if you just want to join a great community of people, come over to my Facebook group. It's Carisa Montooth Love Coach, and I'll show you that information on here too. But the masterminds help you with your business because you have this group of women like you, and they're at different stages. Some of them are a little further ahead. So if you're at the very beginning, you're trying to figure out how you're going to get your first few clients, right? And these women have already done that. You can talk to them about how they did it. If their businesses are even just a little similar to yours, a lot of the things that they tell you can help you. They can help you save time. They can help you save money. They can recommend things to you that make working easier. You might not have known that you could use MailChimp for free if you're not doing anything automated. You know, you might not have known that you could use a CRM, like a customer relationship management system, to keep track of your people and your projects for free, like Insightly. You might not have known that you could use something like FreshBooks to invoice your clients and have it not cost you anything on the front end. They just take a percentage of when your client pays you. All these different things you might not have known. You might not have known that you could use Google Docs to keep track of your documents and then share them with other people. Like all these free services that are out there when you're just getting started that are wonderful, wonderful services. If you weren't part of a mastermind, you might not know about those things. So obviously they help you with your business, but they help you with your relationship. And here's how. When you're in this group of women, they are also in relationships like you are. They might be married, they might have a boyfriend, they might have a girlfriend, whatever the situation is, they mostly have a partner. They probably have a partner. So when you get into these masterminds, you'll gradually get to know these people. You'll make real, authentic connections with these people over time. And you'll invite each other to be part of your lives, right? And when they've got relationships, if they have a relationship that is a good, supportive relationship, and if they've gone further along in their business and they're still married, they probably have a good, supportive relationship. You can spend time with them. You can learn from them about what communication stumbles they had early on and how they overcame them. And if their relationship is a great relationship, you can double date with them and let your partner see what it is to be in a relationship with an entrepreneur, a good, strong, supportive, happy relationship with an entrepreneur. And if your partner is male and her partner is male, and you guys double date together, they're going to talk about how cool it is to be with an entrepreneur, to be with a woman who is creating her business out of her gifts and sharing them with the world in a successful way. And if you're not quite there yet, but this other couple is, it gives your partner a chance to see where you can go, to see it, not just for you telling and nagging, but to see it, to see, wow, look how great they're doing. We could be doing that too. We could be a couple that supports each other like that. So that is really one of the most important secret weapons that is so powerful for transformation for you in your business and for you in your relationships. So if you're not in a mastermind group, or whether you are or not, if you want to come over and ask more questions and connect with a really great group of people, come on over to my Facebook community, and it's at Carisa Montooth Love Coach on Facebook, and we would love to have you there. And if you have questions beyond what we've talked about here, that would be a good place for you to ask your questions, because I'm in there every day, and it's really great to hear. It's great for you to ask your question in the group, because so many other people are feeling the same way that you're feeling, and when they see that there's someone who has the same question or the same issue, it feels so good to know that they're not alone. And also it helps me be able to serve everyone at once by answering this question in a way that gets everybody the insight that they need. So that is that's what I have for you today. And I just want to say thank you so much. And if you are just even thinking about taking advantage of that free call, please do so, because it really is a no strings attached, totally free call for you, where I just get a chance to learn so much about what you need and how I can help you, and to get you some answers that will move you forward and get you more of the love that you need in your life. So if you do have questions, please come on over to that Facebook group and we'll answer them. And I would also love to see you over at CarisaMontooth.com. I'd love to see you over there at the website. I've got a special love quiz going on right now. If you wanted to take it, it'll tell you what your love style is. But also, soon I will be offering that 7-day challenge. Like I said, it will be a free challenge initially, but it won't be a free challenge forever. So if you do want to take advantage of it, definitely go over as soon as you can and check that out. It's the 7-Day Love Manifesting Challenge, and you get access to a special Facebook group for the challenge. Each day you'll have a different module that's unlocked for you, and each day is a completely transformative thing that we talk about. So one day you're going to be unlocking everything that is in the way of forgiveness. Another day it's going to be about gratitude, and you're going to learn how powerful that can be and how to create a gratitude trigger for your life. Like I said, we'll talk about sex, and we talk about all kinds of things, and it's basically breaking through all of the blocks that you have between you and love right now and making you magnetic to the love that you want to have in your life. I've seen fantastic, amazing results from this, and I'm so excited to share it with you because I know how transformational it's going to be for you. So please come on over to the website and we'll see you there. And thank you so much for showing up, and have a lovely, lovely day.